Okay, so just a very quick video on setting up your additional hard drive that you've now successfully connected up to your PC. Just to check, you've got the small data cable connected to the hard drive, the SSD, and the other end of that connected to the motherboard, and there should be a slightly wider power cable, the SATA power cable, connecting to the back of the SSD to your PSU. If that's all good and you're now happy with the way you've installed it into your case and run the cables, then you can begin the next phase, which is preparing the disk for use. So now everything's connected up, fire up Windows. When you've logged in, hold down Windows Start button and R, and it brings up the run window. And you want to type in the following: disk mgmt.msc. This will bring up the disk management window, and this gives you a visual representation of the disks that you've currently got installed on your PC. You need to be careful with this one, because deleting the wrong components or the wrong disk will wipe your machine essentially. Though I think there are safety checks in place to stop you from deleting the bootable drive if you're currently running Windows, i.e. you can't delete Windows if you're currently running it. Makes sense. So on the top here you've got a list of your volumes. The basic Windows works with volumes and drives. So you have a volume, and that volume is then split up into virtual drives. Disks are numbered from 0 to 1, with 0 being your first one. Don't ask me why, that's always been the way it is. Typically devices are numbered from 0 upwards. So, disk 0 is most likely going to be your M2 chip, the one that's actually it's the storage device that's actually installed onto your motherboard. If you're not sure, confirm the size of it. If the basic size on the left hand side there matches up with what you've currently got for your C drive, then that is your C drive. Disk 0 is your C drive. Disk 1 or any other disk is going to be the second SSD you've just installed. And again, just confirm that the size of disk 1 matches up with what you're expecting. If it does, then disk 1 is the disk that you will be playing with. Now essentially, if you look to the right of that, it will tell you, it might not say D drive because it's not it most likely is not going to be a recognised Microsoft file system. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to, I can't really delete it here because I will damage my own one, but you'd right click on it, you do delete volume, which will then free up all this space. Then you'd right click on it again and I think you create a new volume, and that volume can then be formatted with your D drive. When you go to create it, just take the defaults. Take all the defaults. It'll ask you how much space you want to allocate to it. You want to take the full amount of space. When it comes to formatting, you want to use NTFS because I'm guessing the drive is larger than a few hundred meg. So if it's a 1 terabyte drive, you're going to need to use NTFS. So after all that waffle, just to summarise, disk is installed, cables are run nicely. You boot up, power on, boot up your PC. Hold down Windows Start button and press R. Type in disk mgmt.msc. Press enter. Locate the disk you need to work on, which in this case, and most likely your case as well, is going to be disk 1. Right hand click on that, do delete, or select delete volume. Then you want to right hand click on it again, create volume, take all the defaults, and then you want to format it. At which point, and it should be relatively quick, you should then have a D drive, and it should say something along the lines of D, the size, the file system format, and what state it's in, healthy, whatever. It needs to be a primary, but I wouldn't worry about that at all. Okay, give that a try. Let me know how you get on.